Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NCW, also known as New Comic Wednesday. If you haven't been with us before, we chat for a few minutes every Wednesday about Zenescope's newest releases. If you don't know who I am your NCW host, Amber, and we'll be diving in to talk about a brand new character today, which I'm really excited to bring on our publisher, Dave Franchini, to do so. If this is your first time joining us, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a Coffee with Casey and Noah, you never miss a VCon, you never miss an NCW, and you never miss any other movie clubs that we have. Plus the other streams like our Everything Zen, which our latest episode actually dropped this week. So you're going to want to check that out. There's a guest from Cobra Kai. Very awesome. On top of that, to find our newest releases, make sure that you go to Zenescope.com, you press new releases, and it will show you everything that has been released every Wednesday in order backwards. You can also get our newest releases on Comixology digitally on the go, as well as at your local comic shop. And make sure that if you follow Zenescope, that you also subscribe to us so that you can get all the latest issues of Van Helsing, of Now Sleeping Beauty, Belle, Robin Hood, etc. Make sure, again, that you always you react to this, you comment on it, again, so everyone can always find our latest NCW episodes you can share with all of your friends. Today we just have one release. This will be a relatively very quick NCW. We'll be talking about Grimm Universe Presents Quarterly, Sleeping Beauty, a brand new character, again, brought to you by our wonderful publisher, Dave Franchini, who's going to happen in just a moment to tell you a little bit about the character. But as always, Casey, can you pop up those three beautiful covers that have been presented of us of our three depictions on Sleeping Beauty? There we go. So as always, here is cover A, here is cover B, here is cover C. You can see all of the artists at the bottom, so you have a better idea of who did what artwork. And again, it's very awesome that we're depicting our characters in such an interesting way. And I like more, like the vibe of Sleeping Beauty. I was very surprised by her character and the turn that took in her storyline. And I'm interested and I'm hoping that we get more of her. And I'm sure that Dave's going to answer that. But as always, I'll read the synopsis and then I will bring Dave on. Rory Norris is a talented graphic artist with a creative vision unlike any other. But when tragedy strikes and she loses her eyesight, she is forced into a world of utter darkness. Broken and with the feeling for the first time of being truly alone, she will send herself on a path she never knew existed. The horrors that lie ahead of her are far from any she could have ever imagined, and the secrets she will uncover hiding in our world will change everything. Don't miss the introduction of Grimm Universe's newest hero, 72 pages. So without further ado, here is our publisher, Dave Franchini.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up? How have you
Nothing.
been?
I know that it has. You've written obviously a lot during that time, but I haven't brought you on because I know you've been so busy. And I promise that today will also be very short.
No, you're good. I'm here forever.
So usually when we have NCW, we dive a little bit into the storyline, etc. I'm going to kind of do a little different this go around, where I want to ask more about the character and what, she looks like in our universe and where we'll see her again. So basically, putting together a character, how long ago did you guys start talking about introducing Sleeping Beauty?
I've been kind of pitching it a little bit like along the ways for a couple of years now, like just kind of something that was like sitting in my head. And then we just kind of had a place to put her in coming up, and we have there's a few plans for her coming up. But yeah, I mean, it's been so many ideas you kind of just sit on for a few years and you wait for the right time to come out. And I think it kind of worked out where we're kind of diving a little bit more into Wonderland stuff. This kind of brushes lightly on Wonderland, ties a little bit more into the whole universe. And I thought it was just a good time to kind of bring this character out.
So for the character, how did the concepts of what she would look like, what her, costume design, etc., like how did that go and when did that process start?
I mean, like the design itself is like that's really fun. It's kind of a really fun part when you get to write it and you kind of come up with the new characters. It was really just pulling a lot of references of like kind of what I had in my head, and then sending them to Igor Vitorino. He's actually the artist who did this cover. and then
Hmm.
he did basically all the dream sequences in the book. But he took all the pieces, like I said, different hairstyles, different like facial looks, different clothing designs, and he took it and he kind of put it in a blender and came out with this awesome looking character. And we made tweaks a little bit on like the colors and like different parts of the like aspects of the hair and the mask. But like, yeah, it's pretty much that, like just pulling a bunch of things and kind of building this image in your head as a team.
So, you had the ideas, you presented it. Igor obviously put her together as a character, of like visually what she'd look like. How did you come up with her backstory, being a graphic artist? And I don't want to also like unveil other things that come, but obviously the personal backstory that she has to the powers that she now knows.
It's kind of like her story itself is like what happens to her is kind of like my biggest fear is like in my top three fears, this is probably my number one, and it's like being an artist and being someone who loves to see visual things and losing your eyesight. And it kind of stemmed from there. And it was like, well, okay, like if we take the Sleeping Beauty character, because like kind of you go through the research of all the different fairy tales, like different versions of it. Like there's at least five different versions that this kind of pulls from. Because there's the Brothers Grimm version. Like you have the Disney one that you try to stay away from because it's not public domain. So you gotta watch that to kind of see what you can't do that they've already kind of done. But then there was a ballet that I didn't know existed, and there like so you'll see characters and things pop up from all the different history of Sleeping Beauty. But I mean, yeah, it kind of just stems. It starts from like, all right, here's the character, here's what it was. How do we make it into fit into our Grimm universe, but also give it a different twist, but then also add a layer of like almost like personality to it. And it was really a lot of the reactions, a lot of the thoughts, the fear is like what happens when you lose your eyesight, but then you're also gifted with this other ability. And then it kind of just builds off of there. And I don't want to spoil too much of it because it's only a 72-page book and it's the first one of her, so I don't want to. I don't be like, well, here's everything that you need to know, and then don't buy the book.
So, like many of our characters, Robin Hood, and I guess most recently Belle, because she's one of the most newest in terms of introducing an ongoing storyline. Do most of the characters start as like a spotlight issue or sometimes showing up in somebody other storyline, or do they automatically start being like, we're going to start a series for this character?
It's tough. I mean, like each one changes a little bit. Like for this character, it was just like, all right, let's introduce her because she doesn't connect with any of the other characters. Like it wouldn't make sense for her to pop up in a Robin Hood story right off the bat. It wouldn't make her like so. It was like, all right, let's kind of create her universe and her world within our Grimm universe, and that's kind of what we've been doing these past 2 years is kind of really trying to establish each character having their own universe within the overall Grimm universe. So you have Belle with Mel and Hershey and all her villains. You have Robin with her villains and her backstory with the Children of Darkness. You have Van Helsing with her father issues and her friends and her villains. So we're trying to kind of build each of these characters up to be able to stand alone, but also be able to interact with each other in the universe. So for when we kind of come up with these different characters, some of them can start off like as a side character. Like Dracula's daughter was an antagonist in Van Helsing, and it was like okay, like we she had her story in Van Helsing, but that was a Van Helsing story. Let's tell Charlotte's story. Let's tell why she is the way she is, where she's going, what's going to happen with her. And that's a lot of the fun we get with this universe. Like we say it all the time. It's just like this shared universe, like reading it's awesome. And like from a fan point of view, I always loved reading a shared universe, but being able to create in it is so much more fun because like you get to just tie in the little things and little things you get to hide in other books. And also just like kind of retrofit it too. Like there's stuff in here about Wonderland and the different realms and also creating its own like dream verse in this that kind of actually it doesn't hurt anything we've done before and it kind of fits perfectly in the middle of everything else, which is pretty cool. And we can explore going forward.
So, speaking of going forward, what is the future of Sleeping Beauty?
You have to read it to find out. Now, I mean, like right now we're working on. We have basically a very rough map of 2023. We're gonna start filling in things there. So hopefully we can fit in like. I'd almost go for like so the way we're doing, we're not really doing mini series for our Grimm Universe characters except for Oz coming up. But with this, I'm hoping that we can maybe get in like basically another. We always do it like a sequel or another quarterly, and then kind of start introducing her into the universe. Like you'll like if some of the things I'm going to pitch towards like Joe and Ralph and David later, like in the next 2 weeks, can kind of come. It's something we think we can really make work. Then we have a lot of cool stuff. I think we have a lot of really. We always already have a lot of cool stuff coming up, but I feel like there's a lot of things we can kind of build on and kind of expand on next year, which I hope the fans will like. And if not, sorry.
So we feel that, obviously she might make appearances in other people's storylines and she'll get kind of maybe another quarterly. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where she gets such an ongoing storyline that she has like a Bell or a bi-monthly, etc.?
That's my hope for every character we create is to eventually give them their own, again, build that universe and give them their own universe and a story that drives them forward, that justifies it. So we don't ever want to just put a character out there that doesn't have a story just because we want that character out there. We want to kind of make sure that what we're doing has a direction and a point for it, because like, you don't want to get there and be like, oh, what do we do now? It's like, well, we have to do 3 more issues this year, and you're like, well, let's just make it up. So it's like, we're making it up anyway. But like you don't like. I feel like right now, I don't think she's ready for that bi-monthly yet. But I think that's my plan, at least for every character that we have, to eventually get them to the point where we can kind of build them into their own series, their own universe, build their own world around them.
Okay, so we'll dive just like a teeny bit into the storyline, but I don't want to give too much away because, like Dave mentioned, she's, something happened. She's blind. She starts out the storyline essentially in an art gallery, and you get a lot of backstory in her character, again, like why she's in this dream world or why she gets pulled in, why she has these powers. But why do we feel the need to start every character with tragedy? Is that because we just feel like that's probably where they get their powers from? I'm like, why do I have to start every storyline sad? Tell me.
I feel like it kind of you need to bring people down to be able to let them bring themselves up. So it's like you need to put somebody at a level, because if you start out happy, you're complacent and you're not going to go anywhere else. It's like, I'm happy. Why would I change anything that's going on today? Like why would I like that doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, but I from at least my point of view, I don't get where you're like, I'm happy. Why would I go over if I'm walking in this straight line and everything's good? I'm not going to go over here where like there's buildings falling down and stuff like that. Like, no, I'm good. But I think that's part of the fun too. I think it's just it's the challenge of the writing it, but it's also it's the fun for the reader to kind of see like, how do they overcome it, and can you relate to it? And it's like, how would like, I don't know. I'm not saying like this is like a guidebook for anybody who's overcoming like great like physical loss, but it's like I think it's more just like the experiment of like, okay, what would happen to you if this happened, and then kind of give you like an escape to like what you like, I don't know, what you would want to happen to you after that, as opposed to like, all right, this happened to you, that's it, this is you now. Like,
on our way. I guess that's a good point. I'm like, someone dies. We're back here. She's in the hospital. Okay.
Well, no, not every story. I'm thinking like if I go back to Van Helsing, she kind of basically came from like she escaped a monster universe. Like she escaped this.
That wasn't depressing.
Well, the beginning of her story was she escaped it, so it started on uplifting. Like it started off as like I made it from hell. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
Sure.
Well, and most stories start out happy because they're already doing evil things.
Well, this was a really good read, and it's very exciting to get to start with a character and see its origin story when it very well might be fleshed out and have an ongoing series or whatever the plans are for Sleeping Beauty, aka Rory. But it was a really good read. It was very, very fun, and I feel like fans in general are going to be excited about this character and what this character has to offer our universe.
Well, I'm glad you like it, and I hope other people like it. If not, I'll be really depressed. It's only months of your life that goes away with every 72-page book. These are like that. like as cool as these are, I love these things. They're the hardest, but they're the most like rewarding book at the end. It's like holding your hand and be like, this is 4 months of life, like of your life, like in here. But like, I don't know. I hope people like it, and I hope people like the character, and it gives us the ability to kind of tell a lot more stories with her because there's a lot of places to go with this. So I'm hoping.
Well, thank you, Dave, so much for joining us today on NCW, and I'm sure I'll have you on very soon.
All right, thanks for having me. I'll see you.
Bye. Again, we just had one new release, which was our Grimm Tale. I almost said our Grimm Tales of Terror. Our Grimm Universe Presents Quarterly, Sleeping Beauty, where we introduced a character that you've probably already heard of, except we gave her a completely different backstory. One of the many things to love about this character is I feel like she's going to offer a different power perspective in Grimm Universe. Like we get, sometimes it seems like characters might have similar powers, etc. But I feel like immediately, like her being blind, and it's very cool. Like in the storyline, you get to see what she sees very briefly, and I feel like that's going to be explored upon more in future issues. But all in all, very, very interesting. So again, $8.99 in our web store. Make sure that you check that out. Like I said, it's going to be a relatively short NCW. So where we're going to go from here is we are going to talk about next week's release, which I believe is our Grimm Fairy Tales 2022 annual. So make sure that you join me next Wednesday. Maybe I'll have Dave on again. Maybe I'll have somebody else. Maybe it'll be another quick edition just for us to run through. So again, we also want to share who was the winner of this week's NCW collectible cover, who did ping us at the C2E2 event. Get ready for the confetti. Congratulations, Brian. He came by our booth. We were really excited. So he is getting the latest NCW collectible cover. As I mentioned, every Wednesday we give out a showcase of the collectible cover that we have for every single month. And one special fan will get to win that collectible cover. Right now, there you go. Very, very hot cover. You can go to the web store right now and buy the collectible version, not the showcase version, for just a few dollars. Such a great deal. And like we said, every single month we destroy whatever we do not sell. So head to the web store right now and pick it up. You only have, I believe, 21 days left to buy it. So I don't want you to miss that. This week's stipulation is that we're just going to pick a random VIP. So one of our VIPs, because as you know, we love our VIPs. Our VIPs are very, very loyal, and we love giving back to our VIPs. And here's my quick three sentence pitch, but probably longer, of becoming a VIP. If you're not a VIP, you should become a VIP. It's a one-time 99-month payment, one-time $99 membership subscription. You pay it one time. That's the price, and that's it. And then you get a lot of perks, such as you get points backs on purchases. You get access to certain VIP streams that we do. You get access to certain books. Every year for your birthday, we send you a VIP collectible. You can use those points for different purchases. If you're a VIP, you also have the opportunity to buy Zenescope Black, which is unlimited shipping. It's $1.99. It's $1.99 for the entire year, and you'll get unlimited shipping from us. Some of our VIPs have used points, again, for really exclusive covers, as well as being written into comics, which is always really awesome. And I know that you guys love that. So make sure that if you're not a VIP, you become a VIP. You can head to our web store right now and check it out. Or if you ever see it at any convention, you can sign up through one of the staff members at the booth. So check that out now. A lot of awesome stuff that's going on. Christmas in July is still going on, even though we're Christmas in August. And if you don't subscribe to our emails, make sure that you do, because it will give you the breakdown of how you can win all of these awesome, amazing prizes. And one lucky winner will win a trip to San Diego Comic-Con 2023, which, as we know, is one of the most anticipated comic events in the industry. As always, make sure that you do not miss a Coffee with Casey and Noah. That's at 1 p.m. every Monday, unless we're coming back from a trip. Then it might be on Tuesday. Our next VCon, yep, there we go. There is their ongoing graphic novel reading list. So make sure that you read along with them. Looks like next week is Neverland. So you have the opportunity to hear about some past graphic novels that we've done and learn a little bit more about our Grimm universe. You also have the opportunity to watch our VCons that happen at the end of every month. Our next one is our back to school, taking place in about 2 weeks. So it'll be 2 days. It'll be Tuesday and a very busy Wednesday where we'll also have NCW, which is awesome. And then our next movie club is coming up as well. So we have a lot of things coming out at the end of the month. Again, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel or you follow us on social media so you never miss any of those updates. A lot of our subscriptions are out, and a lot of our latest versions of subscriptions came out last weekend. On top of that, next weekend, we will be in Seattle. The team will be at Emerald City Comic Con. Make sure that you come by the booth. They'll be there right close to the front of the show. And I'm sure we'll probably do our NCW collectible cover giveaway. So make sure that if you come to the show, you let us know that you'd like the NCW collectible. Whoever asks, make sure you check it out. Oh, I'm seeing Carol's question. Is there a VIP stream next week? The podcast mentioned it. You know, I'm not 100% sure. That's definitely something I would ping Noah about. I didn't know, but if Casey has any answers, she can drop them in the chat. She's given me the I don't know. So that's something we'll look into, but I'm sure we'll update on the VIP page. I haven't listened to the latest Everything Zen, so I apologize, but very, very good question. So yes, make sure that you come see us in Seattle in 2 weeks. The final thing I'll mention is our VIP event, which will be taking place in a little over a month. That will be in Philly. The only way to attend the event is if you are a VIP. It's going to be a very, very fun-filled weekend of some awesome activities that are ongoing. So it'll be a reception, there'll be a party, you'll have opportunities to get collectible covers, hang out with the crew, meet the artists. The artists are all really awesome. Get your stuff signed, get your stuff graded. So if you're on the fence, you know, and you are a VIP, get tickets. If you're not a VIP, we always offer a special option where you can become a VIP and get the ticket at a better rate. So make sure that you do that as well. There are all the wonderful guests that we have coming to the event. Again, all the information is shared on our social media channels, so you can check that out. Okay, that's been another edition of NCW with me. This is Amber signing off, where you come for the covers, but you stay for the stories. I will see you guys next Wednesday at 3 p.m.